Let's keep an eye on this threat for severe weather. In the meantime, we want to take it on the ground. We've been talking about places caught up within this region for several days now. Jeffersontown, Kentucky, this is one area where we had quite a bit of destruction as a result of these storms and tornadoes. We have Fox weather correspondent Brandy Campbell, who is joining us now from here. Jeffersontown, Kentucky, so I believe, this is just right to the south of Louisville. So the flash flood warning, you are under the flash flood warning, I believe, right, Brandy, where we've had several inches of rain so far.
Yeah, that's correct. We're under the flash flood warning until 8 o'clock tonight. And I actually just spoke with emergency management. That is definitely a high concern of theirs that they are monitoring. I know the city, inside of city limits of Louisville, they already have some roads that are closed off, areas that they know are known to flood. So it's not just the tornado damage that happened basically just after midnight or I should say 12:30 in the morning on Thursday, but it's this tornado damage. So right now this is KEP Electric. This is where their building was. So they do electricity, HVAC and such for, any customers. Of course, you can see their building is completely twisted up and just strewn about. You're just seeing the metal sheeting at this time. This is one of few buildings here in this area that is just completely destroyed. I spoke with the coordinator for emergency management here for Louisville, and she said there are about 60 homes that have some level of damage and around 80 businesses that also have damage. And of course, with what we're seeing here, some of them completely destroyed. And just now, I want to note, we did have some lightning in the area. Storms are starting to get into this area. It's currently raining, of course, but that's another development right now. There goes the thunder from that lightning. So probably a good time to start getting folks inside. I mean, you can see you have crews right here that are actively working. I see AT&T printed on the back of that truck. So they're working to get their lines back up right now. But with this that flash of lightning, I didn't see a strike, but I'm assuming they might have to start pulling back from their operations if things do get worse. Now, as we take a look further back, I want to show more of that damage to another large warehouse that seems to be part of the victim to some of these tornadoes that have, or potential tornadoes, I should say, that have touched down in some of these areas. Yesterday, we were at a large warehouse that was partially collapsed. You're taking a look at this one, and you can see some of that sidewall facing us is now almost collapsing toward us. And Lloyd, if I can get you to walk towards me a little bit, you can even see they're using some heavy equipment to actually keep that wall up from further collapsing. If you guys are able to see that on the right side of the building, they're using two pieces of equipment, keeping that wall up. There's people inside. It looks like they might be trying to move some of the product, potentially. I see you have one piece of equipment actually coming out of that building right now. I don't know if we can see that visually. It's a little bit of a distance from where we are. Let's see, Lloyd, if you want to keep walking with me, we might be able to see that as well. So again, this is just an example of what folks across this part of the U.S. is really dealing with. It's day after day, severe weather causing these tornado touchdowns that are really deeply impacting these communities. And it's a double whammy, of course. It's not just the severe weather in terms of tornadoes, but it's also the flash flooding. Not far from where we are, we did hear of, when it comes to the flash flooding, one death that was confirmed. It's about 50 miles east of where we are. We're going to try to head there soon. But we did get confirmation that a young boy, he was actually headed to the bus stop early this morning, just I believe around 6:40 in the morning, when he was caught in flood water. And it took about 2 hours for first responders to actually find him. And unfortunately, he was announced deceased. And so that is some very unfortunate news coming out of this state this morning. The governor for Kentucky, he did announce they do have swift water rescue teams already mobilized here in the state, just anticipating what could happen with the flooding. And it's not just flash flooding, but you have river levels that are also rising. Some of them getting, not just into action stage, but minor flood stage, or maybe higher going into the early days of next week. So it's a multifaceted weather event that folks are dealing with. But here, just in the outskirts of Louisville, it's the tornado damage. And I do want to note the National Weather Service, they haven't done their official surveys just yet. They're a little short-staffed. Some people off from work this week. So they're focusing the people who are in the office right now on the ongoing threat to make sure that the residents in their zone can stay up to date with the latest. But emergency management did tell me for this track that they've noticed, they see that there is debris that's been lofted about a mile outside of the directed impacted zone, just showing the strength of this tornado. It's been able to loft stuff a mile away from the original track. Back to you.
Yeah, Brandy, I appreciate you updating, just really driving home just the significance of the flooding in Kentucky. Real quickly, Frankfort, where you reported the sad death of the child, that you're going to head and cover that side of the story. Frankfort, just to the east of Louisville, and it sits right along the Kentucky River. And it looks like right now the Kentucky River expected to hit major flood stage by the time we head into the weekend. Just heartbreaking news coming out of Kentucky this morning. Brandy, we appreciate that update out of Jefferson Town. Thank you.